Hi everybody and welcome to Cap at Home. I'm Miss Rachel and today we are going to create artwork inspired by Detroit artist Charles McGee. So let's pop on over to the table and I'll show you what you need and how to make it. Alrighty, let's make sure we got it set up good over here. Alright, so this artist is known as a Detroit artist, Charles McGee, and he has a lot of pieces around the Detroit area. The piece that we're working or being inspired by today is called Timepiece, and I will make sure that there is a photo of it in the comments so you can have a reference. But if you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, I think those two, we have posted our ad, and you can see a little snapshot of it in the ad. So before we get started and jump into the materials, I would like to thank the Community Education Commission of the City of Detroit and General Motors for allowing us to provide these free online art tutorials every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here on Facebook Live at 4. And here's the materials. So you're going to need glue. I just happen to have this clear glue here. It doesn't need to be clear glue. It can be anything that you can glue paper together with. You'll need something to color with. You'll also need a pencil and an eraser. You'll need these little cardboard bits. I just cut some cardboard into strips and then down into squares, because those are going to help us make our abstract piece more three-dimensional. You'll also need scissors, ruler. You'll need some kind of paper. It can be construction paper. I'm using posterboard and cardstock. And then I also have another poster board that's going to serve as my background. So the first thing that we're going to do, let me take a look, is we're going to use our poster board, and I would suggest white. I'm going to work with the black and white theme that is in the picture, but if you want to use color, this is completely up to you, because remember, we are inspired by, we're not copying. But so you know what I'm doing, I'm working with the white to create my I've been calling them railroad tracks. So I'm just going to take my paper and use my ruler to create rectangles that are the same size. And I have a grid on my work area, but you can go ahead and measure them if you want them to be exactly the same size. Or you can make one, cut it out, and then trace it a bunch of times. So I'll show you what that would look like. Cut this. So I can't remember exactly how many I end up using, but I know it's less than 8. So I would suggest cutting between like 5 and 10, depending on how big you plan to do this. But so now I have, okay, I'll turn it on the scrappy side so you can kind of see. So now I have one rectangle, and then I can just go ahead and trace this several more times on my paper until I can get the number that I want. Like I said, between 5 and 10 is good. And then after you trace them, you're going to cut them out and set them to the side. Now we are going to create, if you want to, you can make these a specific color. All of mine are white, but you could take this time to color it in with your markers if you want. Or you could cut it out of colorful paper so that you don't have to spend all the time coloring in rectangles. But mine are white, so I'm going to move on. So for the shapes in the foreground, you're going to grab your, I'm using thick paper because this is going to be a three-dimensional project, and I don't want my paper to rip as I'm putting it together. So I have just this thick cardstock paper, and you're going to draw your squiggles. So I have a couple here. Hold on. Rolling over everything. And what I mean by squiggles are just really organic shapes that you make up yourself. I have a couple that I've already kind of cut out. So these are kind of oval shapes that just look, I don't know, organic, weird, squiggly. And then I even have some that are a little bigger. So I would suggest doing a lot of different sizes. So on your paper, I didn't use any stencils or anything. And I would use a pencil so that you can erase if you mess up or whatever. But I'm going to use this marker so you can see what I'm doing. But I'm just going to draw some shapes. And I got my little squiggly C, and I'm drawing them close together because I'm going to cut them out of the paper. And I don't want to waste too much paper. So sometimes that kind of helps me create shapes because I'm just working with the paper and what I've already drawn. So I make even more interesting shapes just trying to use up all of my paper. So once you do that, you will use your scissors to cut them out. I'm going to slide this to the side and use some of my pre-cut squiggles. And now you want to, after you've cut your squiggles out, you're going to draw on them. So I've done a lot of prep, so I have some that I've already drawn on. And I just made a lot of different black and white designs. I use polka dots a lot. I did even more squiggly shapes inside of my squiggly shape. All kinds of stuff. So if you need some inspiration for what to draw inside of your squiggly shapes, one thing that you could Google is Zen tangles. That it has been really helpful for me to kind of get my mind going about what to draw, because there's no specific thing that you have to draw. I've just been doing black and white designs. So once you have that all filled up on your squiggle shapes, it's going to take some time. So I was working on this for maybe a week or so. I did a little bit in front of the TV. I did some while talking on the phone, all kinds of things. So, and your designs don't need to be super detailed. They could just be stripes, or I have triangles there. You have that one. So you can do whatever you want. Make it as detailed or as simple as you would like. So I'm going through this part so we can get to the construction. Alrighty. So now that we have all of our shapes cut out, I'm going to move some things out of my way because I need my workspace to be clear. So, hopefully nothing falls. Alrighty. Here we go. So you want to pull out your poster board and make sure it is the size that you want it to be. This has been cut down a whole lot, but the actual piece that I used for my example is even smaller. And then you're going to grab your, I've been calling them train tracks, but these are rectangles. And with the rectangles, you are going to use these cardboard pieces and glue them on there. I think I have something on the back of mine. So whatever side is the front, you want to turn it over and glue a couple of pieces of cardboard to the back so that when you glue it onto your poster board, it stands up and away from the background. And let me show you what I mean. So here are my train tracks, and you can kind of see that the cardboard is in there. So I kind of have like a little bit of a shadow because this is three-dimensional, and that's what we want. because we want it to kind of pop out and come to life. Alrighty, so here is the part that is going to take a little time. So you have a whole lot of squiggles and you'll kind of want to organize them. I have some really big ones that I'm going to put in the background, or first on top of my background. I'm going to start with this one, and because there's nothing else here, I'm just going to kind of glue it down. And as I'm gluing it down, you can either do this ahead of time or kind of do it as you go, but the back of my squiggles also have the cardboard pieces, and that's to help them stand up from the background so that I continue to build dimension and I have that 3D-ness going on. So I'm gonna kind of place them in place to see what I like. And in the example, they are kind of weaving through each other, so I would definitely suggest putting them in place before just going ahead and gluing stuff down, because these two for me are a little too close to each other. So I'll add another piece of cardboard in there, or a couple here, to help it stand up and away from the piece that's behind it, so I get more pop out action, because that's what I want. So, and I realized that I have way too many squiggles, so I'm not going to be able to use all of them on this piece, but I can go ahead and cut another background piece and some more train tracks and have two pieces out of everything that I did. And I have a lot of squiggles in different sizes, so I'll be able to get a lot out of what I'm doing. So, and I like that some pieces kind of go over and under each other, so I want to do that. And I thought I wanted the biggest one in the background, but I think I'm going to put some of my smaller ones in the background, and maybe the bigger one is kind of in the middle. So you will take your time and just glue stuff down as you see fit. I think I'm going to put those there. Oh, maybe like that. I don't know. So I'm going to grab some more of my cardboard pieces, because I might need those, and then glue these down. And you know I love to use my hot glue because it dries fast, so I can get through this during our time today. So there we go. And another thing to note is that while I was doing this, because I used all black and white, I used up a lot of my black marker. So you can add color to this. Remember, we're just being inspired by, we're not completely copying this artist. So you can add color to yours if you want. If that's how you want to do your 3D art, then by all means go ahead and do that. Because if not, then you have to have a whole bunch of black markers. Okay, let's grab this other piece. And I'm going to add some more layers here. So I glued my cardboard pieces on beforehand, thinking that that would help me move faster, but I kind of think gluing them on as you go might be the smarter way to go about this. So you'll learn. It's up to you. And my 3D pieces can go off of the edges, so you can play with that too, making it a more interesting composition. Okay. Here you go. I think I want this to stand up even more than that. So I'm going to use my scissors to cut my little cardboard piece in half, because I don't want to see it that much. I'm going to add it back here. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue down, kind of keep it in place. There we go. So it's really starting to come together, which I am happy about. I'm going to add another kind of divider over here. There we go. And so it gets a little weird working with this and trying to get everything to go together, but that's okay. You'll want to definitely take your time as you're working. Okay. I think I'm going to add this so that it hangs off the side because I kind of like that. Grab a couple other pieces to see how I can make them interact with that one. So, and I'm seeing that my squiggles are really kind of big, so I might even want to cut these down a little more from what I have. We'll see. So I think I'm going to add some more cardboard here so I can raise it up from the background so I can weave some other squiggles through there. So I'm just going to add more cardboard. So I did cut my cardboard out ahead of time, which is really helpful because then I don't have to stop and cut more cardboard pieces because I cut a whole bunch right from the beginning. So that is something to think about. And then even when I run out of my little pieces, I still have some strips left, so I can cut those pretty quickly into little cardboard squares. So if you are in the Detroit area, hopefully you have seen some of Charles McGee's work, and I will try to remember to add some information about where his pieces are on display, because at one point I know he had a mural downtown, so it was on the side of a building. It's really big, hard to miss. I'll add that in the comments. But let me know what you think about this artwork. Do you like abstract art? Do you prefer more realism? What are you thinking? And have you worked this way before? One thing I like about kind of using other artists' work to be inspired by and trying to recreate it is sometimes you find a completely different way to work that you're not used to. And it can really break you out of a rut if you're kind of stuck and don't know what to do. So there is some things that you can learn just by trying to recreate what another artist has created. So but I think right now you kind of get the point. We started off by cutting our board down, our background board, so that we can get it to be the size that we want. And then we put our rectangles on top of that with these little cardboard pieces behind it to make it stand up and away from the backboard so that we have a three-dimensional background. And then, or now, we're playing with our squiggles to see what we like as far as building our composition. So if you are working along with me, make sure that you take a minute to take a picture of what you're doing, because we would love to see what you come up with and how this piece may have inspired you. Make sure you drop a picture in the comments, or you can email it to us at cap@collegeforcreativestudies.edu. for a chance to be featured on our social media. And I know that is a really, really long email address, so make sure you check out the caption because the email address is spelled out right there, so you can just copy and paste it. You don't even have to remember how to spell it, just copy and paste it and send us what you're working on because we would love to see it. And if you need any help, let me know in the comments because I will reply. So I think one of the biggest challenges is just figuring out how you want to put these squiggles together. Alrighty. Because I kind of want them to go on top of each other and under each other. But sometimes you can take your time and figure stuff out. Other times you just got to commit. Just jump right in and see what you end up with. So, oh no, it's moving around. I'm going to add a piece of cardboard under this one, even though I've already glued it down, because I want to separate these two a little more. And I'm actually going to glue two pieces together, then put that under there. And just kind of experiment and see how that comes together. Alrighty. Alright, so we are wrapping up now because I know that you are going to go ahead and experiment on your own and see how your piece comes together. Remember, we would love to see it, so email us or drop a picture in the comments below or on the side or wherever they are. I don't know where they are on Facebook. And remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube so that you can watch this and previous videos that we've done because we have tons of art tutorials for you. And again, I would love to give a shout out to our sponsors, General Motors and Community Education Commission of the City of Detroit, who allow us to provide these videos for you free of charge every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm Miss Rachel. I'm still working on my squiggle art. Hopefully you are too. And I will see you later. Bye.